Welcome to the space for transformational leaders to unleash their magic, see better client results, work lighter, and live source. Has logic had its day? Let's talk about magic and reading energy. I'm Darla Ledoux, founder of Sourced, and here we work with coaches, consultants, creatives, and healers to help them really trust and empower what they know, what they're picking up from their clients that goes beyond logic, and to use that to help them get better results faster. Now, if you've been around a while, you may have heard my story about being in corporate and getting a performance review as a chemical engineer, where my boss said to me, "Hey, your soft skills are great, Darla, but you might want to tone them down a bit here because they'll only get you so far." And I remember kind of scrunching my nose and thinking, really? But I'm getting promoted. But there was a part of me that believed this. Now, here's what's funny, is that I actually became an engineer to avoid soft skills, if you can believe it. Because growing up, when I was young, there was a lot of chaos in my environment. I was constantly going to different places, interacting with different people, watching the behavior patterns and the reasons that someone had to drop me off at someone else's house, etc. And I was watching these things, and I could see and feel and know that the way people were behaving and the things they were saying to me were not lining up with what they were really thinking and feeling, were not lining up with their truth. And I could see it and I knew it. And I also could understand that people didn't like that I could see and know that. And so I toned it down because, by the way, it was also really painful, right? To see and know something, but watch people behave differently. And so I shut it down. I shut down what I call now my magic or my soft skills, right? I shut that shit down because it was just too hard to deal with. And in fact, I used food quite a lot to numb my body so I couldn't feel the physical feelings that went with the experiences I was having. So when it came time to decide what I was going to do with my life and time to go to college, I had been gravitating toward the logical and the rational. I was really good at math and science. I loved doing problems where there was a right answer, right? And I could get that check mark and the gold star. And because of that, my math teacher recommended that I become an engineer. If you're good at math and science, you should be an engineer. And I said, okay, I don't really know what an engineer is, but if you say so, I'll do it. And by the way, they make a lot of money. So I became an engineer, and honestly, it was such a good fit for who I'd become or my conditioned self. Because as an engineer, you can do experiments and get data and put it in a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet tells you the answer, and you don't ever have to feel all of the things that are going on beyond the logic. So I did a lot of projects to optimize packages that would go out into the market, and I would shut down the part of me that said, is this really good for humans, for the environment? Is it good for our health? I was working on food products, and I would shut that part of me down and just do the spreadsheet, do the recommendation, the presentation, the math, right? The logic. Isn't it interesting that, first of all, that my boss told me to tone down my soft skills, like my intuition and my love of people and my connection and all of that. So even though I had gone into this logical career, this true part of me was still coming through. Today, I help people with their magic. I help clients to have permission to see, feel, know, and trust what they're picking up in the space between them and a client or them and a group. I work with a lot of retreat leaders to trust what their magic is sensing and knowing and receiving that goes beyond logic. And in that space of permission, they start to really move their clients further, faster, and get results that are not predictable and let's face it, not logical. And I am really an unlikely advocate for magic given my experience. But that is the power of transformation, and that's where we're headed, by the way. I was reading this book recently where they talked about how in society we have this way of greeting one another, right? Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to? How are you? And it said the truth is that that's all conditioned conversations. But if we were really in our full power and presence of what's possible as human beings, we wouldn't need all of those words. We would actually be present with the other person, and we would just know. We might not know the details of what's been happening in their life, but we would know how they are, and we would feel and pick up the energetic essence of what's transformed for them since we saw them last. Now think about that. How many less words would we need, first of all, and how much more fun and connection could we have if we all stepped into our magic? In our framework, we have 6, we call them sourced magics, and this is a framework I developed to really help give people permission to trust what they know, okay? It's not like a training because you already know how to do this. You already have this gift inside of you. It's just a way to give permission for people to trust what they already know. We call it your magic. When we are walking in our magic and picking up beyond the logic, beyond the words, we're more focused, we're more potent, and we can actually harness the power of our energy to go in the direction that we truly want, that's aligned with our heart. Have you ever had the experience of being in an argument with a partner, for example, and every single thing you're saying and every single thing they're saying is right? Well, we won't focus on them, but everything you're saying is right. Like it's logically sound. But you said this, and because of that, this, and da-da-da. And before you know it, the argument that you're having is for something that you literally don't care about. But you're right, right? The being right logically by being up here has led you to a place where you're arguing for something that you don't actually want, but you're not present to the energy of it. When we can be present with the magic and read the energy of the scenario and let go of the logic and the need to rationalize and just communicate about the energy, everything changes. Everything changes. And when you can help your clients to do that, when you can help them go, I can't tell you how many times I've said, yeah, I hear all of that, right? And that all makes perfect sense. But what I'm feeling in my body is this. Do you feel that? Right? And it immediately takes people back to center. And when we can do that, we're so much more efficient, so much more effective, so much more potent, as we like to say. That much more gets done in less time, and then you can play. I believe logic has had its day, and we're in the era of energy. It's served us, it's gotten us here, but it won't get us there. I'm curious what you believe. I'd love to hear your own experience with this. Put a comment below this video, and if this is meaningful to you, like, subscribe, and share. I'm Darla Ledoux, founder of Sourced, and we'll see you soon.